From Hollywood, Leonard Neal Productions presents Streemroom. And now, here's your host, Leonard Neal.
Welcome to Streemroom Show number 4. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see everyone. Before we get started, I would just like to share a quote with you that I found posted on Adam Levine's Instagram page. Michael, if we could just put that up. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. So I am so excited about today's show because of the creativity involved with this act and how it seamlessly translates to the virtual world. Here is a different clip of a fun routine Catapult performed on their first audition on America's Got Talent. Take a look.
Often do this on the show. In fact, I don't think I ever did it on the show before. That's it. Everything that we're looking for on this show just walked onto that stage. Congratulations.
Okay, let's vote. All of us. 1, 2, 3. Yes! You are about to catapult yourself to Vegas!
Catapult Entertainment is collaborative in nature. As the director explains, one of the ways that they live up to their unusual name is by launching ideas at each other. Sometimes these ideas are duds, but sometimes they explode and blow everyone away. The ideas that explode change the creative landscape and open up possibilities for exploring new meanings, emotions, and stories. These breakthrough moments expand their already weird shadow world and offer opportunities for creative minds and bodies to continue playing. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder, director, choreographer of Catapult, Adam Battlestein. Welcome, Adam. Thank you for joining us on Streemroom.
You bet.
So excited to have you with us. So let's start at the beginning. Tell everyone, what is Shadow Illusion Theater?
Well, shadow illusion theater has been around for thousands of years. It was developed in ancient China and in the ancient East. It was basically a puppet show with a light source and cut out puppets made of wood or paper or cloth. And it was about storytelling. And this art form still exists. What we have is a modern riff on that ancient art form in which we use our entire bodies and physicality and the art of dance to come together and create shape transformations with the body rather than just a cutout or a puppet.
Great. And what makes these shadow stories compelling?
The same thing that makes any story compelling. It's got to have emotion. You have to care about the characters. It's got to be good storytelling. We have the added advantage of having a magic trick with bodies transforming from one shape into another in order to help us tell that story, which brings a kind of wow factor to it. But it's basic storytelling.
And what kind of art forms do you need for good shadow theater?
Well, you need to be basically well-versed in a variety of techniques. So you have to be an excellent dancer, you have to have modern technique, ballet technique, tumbling and gymnastics are often required. But in addition to that, you have to be able to act. And that's a difficult a challenge for many dancers who don't have that in their background, they don't have that training. And you also have to be able to do this weird thing where you sculpt light with your body.
Right.
So not everyone can do that.
So just if you're a good dancer, that doesn't necessarily mean you can make a good shadow dancer.
Unfortunately, you could be a great dancer. You could be even an accomplished actor and still not be able to find your way in this weird shadow realm where it's just very different. Some people take to it like a fish to water. They love it in there and they want to play and explore. And other people are just sort of confounded by it. And so, yes, it's difficult to find good performers for this type of shadow illusion.
And when you're trying to deliver a message, it's all about the emotion, isn't it?
It really is. And you can see from this photo here that we create moments of emotion in our storytelling. You can see the vulnerability in this young lady who's being bullied, and you want to know what's going to happen to her. Is she going to stand up and face this challenge? Is she going to shrink and run away? Are there people who can help her? That's basically storytelling that and it's not always just about pathos. We love a good joke. There's a lot of humor. Who doesn't love a giant frog with googly eyes and little baby frog faces peeping up? So there's a lot of humor in our show as well.
Yes. Well, what's your biggest challenge and the challenge that keeps you engaged?
Well, storytelling is difficult by itself. Just telling a good story takes a lot of work and thought. But when corporate clients present with topics that maybe are counterintuitive, might seem challenging or boring to me, like human resources, I realize that I need to dive down into the human element of those stories. I mean, these companies are solving problems, and those are real human problems. So when I can discover the human element behind the problem, what is the human element, and draw that out, I think that's when I'm doing my best work, and I think those are the challenges that I look forward to, actually.
Right. And for those in our audience today who attended the 2013 FICP annual meeting in Boston, you may remember the welcome reception that featured a Four Seasons theme. And so I knew that Catapult would be able to create and customize a piece that not only made that reception memorable, but also became one of their mainstay featured routines to this day.
That's true. Our most popular piece and the work that we always include on every concert around the world was a commission from you, Leonard. So we thank you for that. It's turned out to be an incredible piece.
Wow. Well, I think that the audience would like to see how these shapes are actually made in real time. Do you think we can do that for them?
Yeah, I think we could pull back the curtain a little bit. I have a dancer here with me who's been with me for many years. She's a virtuoso shadow maker, a very skilled performer. Her name is Anjali Bhattacharya, and she is also the rehearsal director of Catapult Entertainment. So hi there, Anjali. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Anjali. Hey.
So,
thanks for joining us.
So Anjali is going to show you some shapes today that can be made by a single person. And so what we're going to do is show you the way that she makes the shape, and you can try to guess what she's doing, because the connection between the shape of the body and what's evident on the screen is sometimes so disconnected that it's really difficult to know what someone's doing. And it's also what makes shadow illusion theater so challenging. So Anjali, why don't you start with something? I'm not going to say what it is. You make the shape, and we'll take a look at you without seeing the shadow screen. So Toby, if you can shift your camera around so we can just see Anjali. There we go. Okay, so
That's it.
all right, she's going to take a little port-a-bras, get into the shape, and that is it right there. So if anyone listening or watching wants to guess what she's making, what kind of shape she's making, what will appear, feel free. Give it your best shot. I don't think you're going to get it.
Anybody in the chat room want to take a whack at it?
Are they muted still?
No?
Frog came.
Frog,
from-
okay. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at what it really is. It's not a frog. It's a penguin. Nice job, Anjali. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, she's going to skip right there. All right, let's see if anybody can guess what this would be. It's another difficult one to really figure out what that's going to look like. Anybody? Well, let's
Yellow
reveal. Let's reveal, because I know Anjali can't stay in this shape forever.
Awesome.
Can you quack, Anjali? Quack, quack, quack. Okay. And what else can your duck do? Yeah, it can dive for food. Yeah, really nice job there.
Oh,
And it goes to the other side. Let's do another one, Anjali. All right. This one might be a little easier to guess. I think it's a little clearer what she might be doing there. Okay, let's see what it is. There's the frog. Okay. Nice work, Anjali. You have a couple more, right?
Yep.
Okay. This would be a hard guess.
Wow.
Let's see what she's doing there, Toby.
An elephant?
Elephant's a good guess, but think ostrich.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So this ostrich has a great walk. Anjali, can you show us how it walks off stage? Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Anjali, I would like you to do a dog. We won't make it a guessing game, but I want to just show how we incorporate. It's very important that the creatures that we create have a life of their own and emotion. And so that's a pretty good dog right there. Yeah, you got to tuck the hair away. Constant problem for the women dancers. So can you hear your masters at the door? Like the door is opening and you might go for a walk, but then it turns out to be the postman. Aw, sorry, pup.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we're able to work the emotion in the creature, and we really have to kind of commit to that in order to tell stories. It can't just be shape after shape. The shapes have to do something, and they have to interact.
Wow.
So I guess if you want, we could go to some multiple person shapes, and we can explain how that's done. So Anjali's made a bunch of single person shapes, but most of the shapes that we do in our show are made out of multiple people in different places on the stage. And this is where the real magic comes in and the real challenge, because you have to be in exactly the right position relative to your compatriots in order to create something. So Anjali's going to show you how we make a cat. She's going to do all the parts herself. Just keep in mind that she's going to move to different places on the stage in order to make these various parts. So okay, there is the face and one ear. One ear is not quite up high enough, but there we go. Okay, so that's the face. And then we have another person who would do the body. So Anjali will show us that. And she would have to move upstage to get bigger and then create the body. That's the easy one. And then the tail is made by a third performer who uses their leg to create the tail. And now the finished product we can show you looks something like this. Yeah. So 3 people inside that shape. That's pretty challenging, but we also have shapes that take more. We're going to do an elephant for you that has 6 people to create an elephant, 6 performers, and Anjali's going to do the parts herself to demonstrate. So first, we're going to do a body, and this will be kind of a baby elephant because of the restraints of our space, but we can make a life-size, fully sized elephant, which is pretty cool. So there's the body. And there's a tail that would be coming out of the end of the body with another performer. And let's go look at the ear. Yeah, that would be the tail. And we'll take a look at the ear, which is a third performer making the ear with the shirt. Nice. And then there's a 4th performer making the head and trunk. Nice. And then there would be a 5th performer making the mouth, which we're not going to do today. And we can show you what this will look like when we form it up in a show. So I always get a kick out of that. You know, it's a real magic trick. You just don't expect a shape to come that cleanly out of a bunch of human bodies. So it's a lot of fun still for me to work with this.
That's really powerful. Thank you, Anjali. That's great. Adam, tell us about Catapult's repertoire and the types of shows you do.
So we have 2 aspects to our business. One is touring, and we tour all over the United States and also in Europe and also in Asia. And we have a 75 to 90-minute concert that we do all over the world. And it is basically stories that involve this kind of shadow transformation in order to tell the stories. But we also do corporate events. We have also traveled all over the world for various corporations, and we can use our repertory, of which we have a great deal, or we can create a custom bespoke story around the messaging of each client. So that's basically the 2 parts of the business: corporate events and live concerts around the world.
And how do you see your art form transitioning to the virtual world?
Well, I think we're a no-brainer for the virtual world. First of all, we look great on television, on a computer screen. The smaller the screen, the better we look, which is just ironic, but a lot of people want to sit up in the front row, right in front of the giant shadow screen, which is 20 feet high and 25 feet across. But the best seat in the house is from the back. And so we do well miniaturizing. And also, you know, we are an art form that is visual. So if there's an event that requires something visual with music, has a wow factor, but also can deliver a message or a story that has emotion in it, well, that's us, you know. That's what we do.
Can we take some input from the audience? Any questions you want to ask Adam or Anjali in regards to maybe you have a program coming up that you want to see if there's a fit, or just in general?
We can also teach a little bit of shadow. We could do a shadow tutorial, teach some of the people watching how to do some simple shadows for their kids or to impress their family or just for fun.
Is that possible? Can Anjali do something real quick right now on that level?
Yeah, while people are thinking of questions they might have. Anjali, can you show us how to set up a real simple shadow studio and make maybe a monkey, a bird, or a spider, one of those easier shapes?
Yeah, no problem. So we're gonna black out our projector, because we're lucky we have a high-powered projector right now. But you don't need one.
You don't need a
Big
projector.
wall or a sheet covering your wall, just a light colored sheet, doesn't even have to be white. And then a flashlight or even your cell phone can work. So.
Yeah, it can get pretty simple. If the power's out, you can use a flashlight or a candle.
And then Toby's gonna hold it for me.
Wait, there's another. No. Okay.
Okay, so
You can actually, you know what, we're gonna do that. Show this, Toby. You can just set it down on something.
yeah, there's your light source. Could be a projector, could be a flashlight on a table, could be your cell phone propped up, and you're ready to go if you have a nice blank surface. Doesn't even have to be that big.
Okay, I'll start with gorilla, monkey.
Yep.
So you take your hand closest to the light source, make a fist with your thumb on the bottom. And then you take your hand farthest away from the light source, so depending if you're left or right from it, and put it on top. And you position it just to the edge of the light, so you just see the face.
And right. This would be a great one for kids because they can do sound effects.
Yeah. Okay, next I'll do spider. I'll do it on the ground.
The spider's a lot of fun. You can
So
climb the
you're just gonna
walls.
Cross your hands at like just right below where your fingers start, right below your finger knuckles. You don't want to cross at your wrists. You want to cross at your finger knuckles. And I'll go below the light source and creep along the floor. Creepy.
Can you crawl up the wall, Anjali, a little bit? Right. Great. Okay, we got one more. Anjali does a beautiful bird.
Okay. Again, you'll take your hand closest to the light source. Cross your hands, so both palms up. Grab your thumbs.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of this. While we're doing
Nice bird.
Wow, that's great.
Okay. So my kids are asking for a penguin or a giraffe.
Well, we can definitely
I
do
know
a
you did, but I
penguin
can
because that's a one-person shape, and a giraffe is unknown. We don't know how many people that takes because we've never made one.
Okay, penguin.
There you go.
Oh, it's a penguin.
Is that a penguin?
Yeah.
Yes. My 3-year-old approves there.
Excellent job.
Frog.
Cool. Did she see the frog?
Looky, did you see the frog? Oh,
not frog.
yeah, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Look at the legs.
Yeah, it's not a frog. Yeah,
You have a great audience here.
Getting
Kids
younger
are
by the
our
minute.
best audience, that's for sure. And if adults can let themselves be a little childlike, then they make great audiences too.
Well, I think that makes it great for just the general public because we all like being a kid.
That's right.
We like the way it makes us feel. We all remember sitting in our rooms with flashlights. Look at that. What is that?
It's a ostrich.
It's an ostrich. Oh, it's a
Oh, no.
swan.
It's a swan, yeah.
It's a swan. The spider was ridiculously cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does anyone have any questions
Yeah,
for us about what we're doing?
I haven't checked the chat room, but I'll look and see if anybody has nothing yet. If you have a direct question, this is the forum to do it where you can actually talk to the artist directly. So I encourage you, if you have something upcoming or you want to.
You know, I have a question. How long does it, like if you have a specialized program that you'd like, how much time in advance do you guys need to be able to practice and develop?
That's a great question. It has more to do with getting the crew together than it does for how long it would take us to make it. So I think the quickest turnaround we've ever done is 2 weeks. But, you know, obviously a month or two is better in terms of going back and forth, brainstorming the story or appropriate repertory, pulling the dancers together and getting the rehearsal space booked and that stuff. So a couple months is fine.
That's good to know.
Yeah, if you're going to want a particular concept developed, you know, then they start from scratch and they, you know, we brainstorm ideas, we talk to you about it, trying to get, you know, what your objective is, what your message is, and then we can create a storyline that supports that. And
now, I would say that if it's some of our repertory and it's pre-recorded, we already have good footage of it, then the turnaround could be much shorter because we're not actually joining each other in a studio to create it. It's already been done. And so that would be a whole different time order of period. Yeah.
right. Blake, were you talking?
Yes. Do you actually, how many pre-recorded sessions do you already have?
That's a good question. We have a couple that are in HD that are, you know, filmed without an audience. We have some more good footage of a live show that can be used. So between those two things, I'd say we have maybe 6 bits of our repertory. And this summer, we're planning to try to get our whole show in a clean HD performance with no audience, no heads or anything like that. But we do have some good footage now of at least half of our show.
Okay, perfect.
And Blake, I'm going to get you a couple of samples of that
Okay.
afterward, so we can you can see if that really fits the mood you're looking for, et cetera.
Wonderful. I'm excited.
Yeah. So what is Anjali making there? I can't even see.
I don't know. She's just playing around. What are you doing? That's the thing about Anjali, what makes her so great, and the ones who succeed at Shadow, is constant play. You just don't get good, you don't get virtuoso unless you are interested to explore what's possible and play around. So
Right.
they make stuff, some of it is not, you know, for families during rehearsal. I mean, they really go all out and do everything. They make dirty jokes, they make funny little scenes, they do all kinds of things. And a lot of those things end up being fantastic, and we end up incorporating them into the show, not during a rehearsal, like on a break. You know, it's when they're playing around doing stuff that maybe they think they're not supposed to do, or they're making fun of something, that the best material sometimes evolves.
Yeah, I just wanted to share one thing that I did with Adam a few years back, where we actually wanted to introduce the shadow dancers before their routine in front of the screen. So people actually got to see them as live people. And we did this during the national anthem, and we dressed the dancers in combat attire, and they came out halfway through the anthem on stage right, and they formed the statue of the Battle of Iwo Jima. And I have to tell you that there wasn't a dry eye in the place. And it created such emotion, but it also helped the audience connect the dots that immediately following that, they went behind the screen and did a whole 5-minute routine that was customized for their industry. And that kind of just put the whole thing in a bow. And so I just wanted to let you know that there's that dynamic to it, that you can show them in front first and then behind the screen.
Yeah, we always do that in our concerts. We always come out and say hello to the audience so they know we're not a video game or pre-record. So yeah, that's part of our operating procedures, to remind people that this is, you know, made out of human beings. Sometimes if you're too good at the shadow, you know, people say, was that really a camel that they had out there, or was that a real baby? And those were all illusions that were created by, you know, adult dancers.
Right. Yeah. Well, this particular one was particularly effective because you were coming out in the middle of the song. You didn't say anything, and you just formed the statue, and it was just moving. It was really moving. So anyway, that's just another use, another application. Anybody have any other questions, wise or otherwise? Okay, so I just want to extend my thank you again to Adam and Anjali for their appearance on Streamroom and for enlightening all of us on the art of shadow. It's definitely a powerful and effective way to communicate a message either live on stage or in a virtual environment. Thank you, Michael, for your technical support, and Toby. And thank you all for attending and your continued support of Streamroom. My goal is to continue to share more creative entertainment with you, creative concepts, while keeping socially connected and hopefully putting a smile on your face in these challenging times. So until next time, be healthy, stay home, maintain physical distance, and thank you so much for connecting with us on Streamroom.